Good morning, and congratulations to Vicky and team. Every time I come, I think it's getting better and better, P2P, so thank you very much for doing this. Lots of work. And also, for past 2 months, I've been talking about Syrian refugee all the time, so it's really going to be a shift for me to talk about something different, as Chris said today. So today I'm going to talk about some of the more practical, local engagement and some of the strategy that we used. And this issue of employee engagement has been quite serious for the organization that I work for, because almost half of the organization that we have, and you heard, is a 240 staff now, about 1,800 volunteers, 14 locations. Half of that is really employment, business employment and training services. So it has been very strategic for us. It's been a really business approach, because if we could not sustain that, then it would be a problem. We are in need of 120 very high quality placement every year for engineers, electricians, millwrights, power engineers, and so on. So it has been, again, investment, a long-term investment. So that's why I think it doesn't mean that every agency has to do that, but obviously for past 35 years we've been in business, that area has been in a strategic area for the agency. We have invested our own resources to make sure that we do it. So today we have about over 400 employers that we are talking to them, we are partnering with them. As I said, every year we need 120 placement. So I have to have at least, or my colleagues have to have at least 200 employees willing to take those very important practicum, give us those very important practicum positions so we can succeed with our program. So that is why we have invested quite a bit. Some of the, again, you all are master and know it is really a very complex issue when people come in. Yes, we say we like to people come in and integrate and become part of this great country, but we know it's a process, it's a very complex, it's a multifaceted, everybody's involved, and everybody needs to really work their piece and put it together. At the end, a family, individual, a family, or a community becomes successful integrating into our society. When you talk to each and every person that come to Canada, obviously the breadwinner, the only thing they are thinking about is employment. You heard from the statistic that Tim showed us, that obviously employment, again, recognition of foreign qualification, prior learning assessment, those are the things that people are looking at as obvious reason. We go to a country, we want to earn money to survive to start with, but also we know once you are into the labor market, then your identity in the community becomes different. So you can mingle with people, you can become part of the community. So the importance of employment obviously is not secret to you. You all know how important it is. And everything we have done, employment language has been basically the top of the request, that is what people are looking for. And this is a chart that I just had and I just wanted to share with you. Now, when we look at employers are like us. We are employers. I mean, the organization I work for, about 440 staff, we are an employer, basically. So the same thing, they're not different than us. We are people that we're looking for the cheapest labor, the best labor. Somebody could stay and add value to our business. And this is no difference between Suncor or PC Rail or the pizza shop next door. Are the same thing, the same mentality, the same thinking. So we have to look at, this conversation has to be really, again, strategic, talk in the agency, talk to their board to understand why we're doing, who sits on your board actually could help you, how you engage employers. These are very fundamental. It is not just one person we hire or suddenly federal government say, yeah, we want employment engagement, and we all get excited and we apply for $30,000 funding to do employee engagement. It is much broader and deeper than that. So we have to look back. Again, these are our experience I'm going to share with you. I know a lot of people sitting in the room, they know much more than I do. So I'm just sharing what I have learned, or my organization, we have learned. So we have to understand what they do for us. Is really a business relationship to start with. So we have to be very clear what can we offer for them and what they can give to us. So obviously when we look at employers, we look at them as somebody who can hire our people. who can provide mentorship, who can become volunteers, send their people to paint our reception house, or be basically part of mock interviews, come as guest speakers. That's volunteerism that they can do, and provide practicum and job shadowing for the newcomers, because we know how it is. They need a Canadian experience, and we have to find an opportunity for people to get this one way or another. So practicum, mentorship, or internship, or job shadowing, obviously, is top of the line as what they can do for us. And also, they want to donate money. They have resources. They have, old days, they used to give us their furniture. When I started 28 years ago in the sector, we used to get a lot of second-hand furniture, but I think those days are gone. We're not accepting any second, 3, 4 years old computers, because if they cannot use it, we cannot use it. So those are gone. So we're really looking primarily for cash. If they have cash, if they want to sponsor a computer lab and put their name on top of the door, that's fine. But again, that relationship has changed as well. Because sometimes I get a call from TELUS, they say, oh, we got 20 computers to give you. I said, how old are they? He said, oh, about 4 years or 3 years. I said, listen, if you cannot use it, we cannot use it too. Yeah, we can give it to our client if they want to. But that relationship, obviously, in these days have changed. But some of them, they have resources. They have resources for community, and obviously we can tap into that. I will make some examples of some of the things we do. Now, I think before starting, if you are in it, and if you are part of the engaging your employers in your community, so you've already done that, maybe there's something you should go back and look at it and question, to say, are you really thinking the way I'm suggesting here, or you're starting a new approach to engage your employers in your community? These are the three things I would like to, or I suggest you to think about. The relationship have to be strategic. You don't jump in because suddenly the United Way in our community, or the province, or the federal government say, oh, we want to have employer engagement. Don't do that, because it's not going to work, because their reason for it is different. In the past 2 years, we heard a lot of push by federal government that we want employer engagement. The reason they wanted to do that was very clear. They wanted the express entry to work, and they wanted engagement. So their goal was that they wanted to make sure employers have a good understanding of what they are doing with the change of immigration policies, and how they can get engaged in making their basically new selection process work. So that was their goal, their objective. Our goal is not really that. Yeah, we can help them to achieve their goal, but definitely in a local level, that was not really our thing. So it has to be a strategic, it has to be part of a longer-term plan. It has to be purposeful. Even a call from an agency to an employer has to be purposeful. Not everybody should just pick up the phone and call them, because that would really kind of destroy the relationship. It has to be purposeful why we are doing it, because I went back in the previous poster I showed you that either they're hiring, they're mentorship, they're volunteering, providing practicum and shadowing or the internship position, or they're giving you a donation. So you have to know what purpose you are doing. If you're looking at engaging them to give you the practicum, never discuss the hiring issue with them, because it is very focused. You are asking them to take some of your people for job shadowing. So the issue of hiring those people is something that we would not talk to them. Then that is something may happen, may not happen. That's why we have to also educate our basically frontline, that they talk to people in the businesses, and also the newcomers, our clientele, that they go to them very clearly, we make them understand, this is the purpose that we have engaged with this employer, and this is the purpose that you're going there, and making sure that we manage the expectation. We manage our own expectation, we manage our client expectation, and also the people expectation. So we're going for them for donation. Let's not talk about it. It may come, but let's be very focused, very purposeful, and also do it long term. It doesn't happen in the short term. It has to be long term. Because businesses, again, I get a lot of calls on a daily basis that I really try to be polite, but still I just don't want to get those calls. And people calling me, and I'm not answering, or I'm not returning their invoice as employers, not as a Fariborz. it means that I'm not really interested. So it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person or I don't want to talk to them. I'm not interested. There is a sell job is happening. When we do call an employer, obviously we are trying to sell them something. Very simple. And if they are not returning twice our call, so it means they're not really interested. Just leave them alone. Let's not call them racist or people that they don't pay attention. No, they just are not interested. Very simple. So be strategic, have a purpose before calling the employers or engaging them, and also have that as a long-term strategy. Think long-term with employees. Never think short-term because it never works. Now, the other thing I wanted just to maybe share with you is question we need to answer before moving forward, actually asking ourselves. And I said some of that. Why do we need employers? So we have to be clear as why we are engaging them, who are we engaging, and making sure they know what we are doing. That clarity is extremely important for people that we talk to, for ourselves, for our team, not only the individual, but also our team, as why we are doing that. And what really makes employer engaged, and what really makes them to like us, to see that this is what they want to do? I think most employers are part of the community. They are people. They are parents, they are husbands, they are part of a team, they are part of a social club, but they're also employers. So obviously they want to be part of what is happening in the community. They want to be part of the good initiative in the community. So I think that is where we start looking at them. It was many years ago, we had a kind of brainstorming. What we find out was actually we shouldn't be looking at them as an employer. We should look at them as a partner that we're inviting them to come and help us to resettle immigrant and refugee in our community. That shift in our thinking quite changed a lot of things. It gave us more power, more authority to go and engage them, because it was not something that we wanted from them, but it was something that we were actually giving them. We were giving them an opportunity to be part of settling people in their community and the good thing that goes with that. And also, the motivation is different. For a big company, publicity is very important. For a small company, a millwright company that hires 5 millwrights from us, they don't care. Actually, they don't even want somebody to know they are doing that, because that's not what they want. This is self-satisfaction. So identifying what motivates them, what moves them, what makes them happy is important. Many times, going through the CEO's spouses, I think that's the best strategy. It has worked for us, because once you get, we have a fantastic, beautiful daycare. Suddenly we invite 10 of them to come and see what we do. It has nothing to do with employment. But when they see these 100 beautiful young children, is a day of celebration, then suddenly everything happens. So their husband called and said, I want to help you. I heard so many good things about what you guys are doing. So again, it goes back to strategy, really. And I would like to maybe take my 2 minutes to talk about some of the best practices we have, or best good experience we have, and I'm sure you have hundreds of those, just a few of those. I will be very quick. About 7 years ago, I initiated a call to this vice president of at the time, Safeway, which now is Sobe Safeway, and invited him to come to our organization. Dave Roddick, great guy, he just took time to come. He visited the agency. Making a story short, after a conversation for past 7-8 years, they've been giving us about $80,000 a year. They have hired about over 2,500 people through Calgary Catholic Immigration Society. And this is one of the major, after the provincial government, is the biggest employers in our province. They only had to bring 44 temporary farm workers. So I'm just giving you this, so there's a lot of stories. There's been identified as one of these practices, so you can look at them later on. There's a networking success we do for past 4 years. Shell budget actually funded that. We bring about 40 to 50 employers, 40 to 50 job-ready professional immigrant at our petroleum club in Calgary, which is quite high level. So we had every month a meeting. 700 and some numbers have actually been hired just having that breakfast for 3 hours every month. The Shell money dried up. Fed is actually paying for the coordination of that. Recently, CIBC, thanks to CIBC, gave us $40,000 for the next year to continue paying for that brake press. The power engineering, it was again a program that we have started, and we do a lot of oil and gas training program. Oil and gas is down now. We went to the power engineering and bridging program like engineering, electrician, and millwright, and so on. So, going back again to my basically 3 key message I have for you. Employers in engagement in your community has to be strategic, it has to be purposeful, and it has to be long-term. Thank you.